Giving Tuesday is over. Are you excited? I'm excited. Most people think Giving Tuesday is done. That's it. We're done for the year. But that is just not the case. End of year giving happens all the way through the end of the year, quite literally just as a tax strategy for a lot of people. That's a conversation for another day. But you still have an opportunity to get donations as well as just build really good relationships with your donors. Let's just talk more about that, because Giving Tuesday should essentially just be a spike in your donor. It's a little bit of a campaign. It can be part of the strategy, but it's not the whole strategy, right? Because donors, like I said, are still giving all the way through the end of December. And it's really good if you were able to take advantage of that and garner some of that tension as, people are giving all the way through the end of the December. So what I really want you to do is just focus in these next few weeks on your tone for funding, your relationships, and thinking about your operations for 2026, because these days donors are really trending to more value-based giving. So they're not just like giving to anything or whatever, right? They're giving to causes that really mean something to them and causes that are having the kind of impact that they want to see. And so we want to tap into that as much as possible. And I'm going to tell you exactly what we're going to do. So, step one is we're just going to follow up with our donors. I feel like this is something that people always forget, nonprofits forget often. They get those things, they send out a really generic email probably once that donation comes in, and that's it. That's all donors hear from them. And this is probably a good reason why, I think it's like 70 and 80% of donors are one-time donors, and that is it. So we're going to focus on making those thank yous a little more personable. We're going to make sure that they're giving them a little more information and making them feel really part of your mission and part of the journey that you guys are taking. So one of the biggest ways to do that is just telling them what their donation did. A lot of times we're like, thank you for your gift of like $20, or thank you for your gift of $100, or, we've raised like $5,000 thus far. Well, tell them what that $5,000 is going to do, right? Is it buying like 20 pairs of new shoes?
What? Bro, what are you talking about?
Probably not. Sorry. Let me just give y'all this disclaimer. My math is going to be really, really bad from here on out as I'm giving you examples. Do not pull out the calculator, but understand what I'm trying to tell you. So is your $5,000 going to allow you to buy 20 pairs of shoes for some kids coming out of foster care so that they can get like some new shoes, right? Is that what it's going to? Is that $5,000 going to help you build a new play area for the dogs in your animal shelter? And, you're going to give videos of dogs being happy and playing with balls and just running around super excited. Like, what is that money going to do? What is the impact that it is actually going to have? And if they give more, what more could it be? If we are able to do some marketing, we probably don't want to tell them about marketing, but you can tell them, your donation has helped us reach 100 more people, and as a result 100 more dogs were adopted and 100 more dogs found their forever families. How great and amazing is that? That's the kind of journey and the kind of stories that you want your donors to know. And so you're like, hey, if we give more, we may be able to reach 100 more people and get 100 more animals adopted. And we are just going to take them through that journey and make sure they understand, not that you're just thankful for their little $5, $10, $100, but that their $5, $10, $100 was able to do this, and $5, $10, and $100 more dollars is going to be able to do this. And so this is how we continue to build that relationship with them and let them know that they are actually contributing to something amazing. Step number 2 is that we're just going to strengthen our ask, right? We're going to get really super clear about what we're asking for and why we're asking. So that means we need to know exactly how much it is that we need. We need a very specific goal. Like, what is the goal that we need to hit? And how does this connect to the work that we're going to be doing within the next year? Like, how does it help you? What are you going to be doing? What is it that people should care about? What is it that they should grasp onto? And you want to be able to really do this in like 1 or 2 sentences, right? Like, what is that one sentence that explains like why giving right now matters? Just connect it to something about them, connect it to something in your community, connect it to something that's happening out in the world right now. An organization I work with right now is wanting to expand the podcast that they give. Their podcast is all about giving like joyful news about the climate. And so they're connecting that to a lot of the stuff that's happening right now, where a lot of news organizations are kind of like giving into the government, and they're not necessarily as independent, and there's like not this free journalism. And not only that, but there's a lot of doom and gloom happening, right? It's always like this bad news trying to get people to all the clickbait, all the rage bait. And so they're trying to counter that with some really joyful news about the climate, some joyful things that are happening, to really focus on the good things and amplify the people on the ground that are doing some amazing things. And so they're using what is happening right now outside the world to counter what they're able to give, and why it is so important to give to that particular organization right now. And so these are the things that I am specifically talking about. I can speak some days. So in that, you just want to get really, really clear about what you're doing, and you want to be able to quantify it, right? You want to give them confidence that their gift is actually fulfilling a real need. This is why we talk so much about understanding your finances and what things are doing, and being able to really quantify the amount of money it takes you to do what you do. And that way it makes it so much easier to tell your donors and to tell your community that, hey, it's going to take this certain amount of money to make this specific thing happen. And making sure that they understand that impact, that quantifiable impact, as well as those stories and those testimonies of people actually being impacted, is so much more powerful than, hey, we need $50,000 and help us do that. Number 3, what I want you to do is start getting your systems ready for the new year now. Like, I know the idea is just try to get things off, put it off until January. No, I want you to start getting organized now, because if we stay ready, then we don't have to get ready, right? And if we are having these numbers and already understanding what's happening and already know what's coming in, then it's not going to be this big, huge thing come January. Because in January, I want you to get started ready to pull all these numbers together. In January, we're going to start building our impact report. In January, we're already going to understand what worked and what didn't, and what our funding strategy needs to be for the new year. Because again, if we stay ready, we do not have to get ready, which means we do not have to constantly prepare for these like Giving Tuesday kind of things, right? I will give you an example. An organization that I work with, we kind of made a point for their strategic plan to increase fundraising. Now, that was going to happen in a variety of different ways, but their funding strategy and their marketing strategy started to come together in this way. And so the marketing, we started focusing on building those relationships and making sure people understood what was happening in the organization, make sure they understood the needs, make sure they understood the impact. And that is just what we were putting out on their social media, just trying to get people engaged, making sure they were part of the journey, making sure they understood what the mission was. So when Giving Tuesday came, they didn't actually have a whole Giving Tuesday campaign. They just put out a post that said, hey, it's Giving Tuesday, and we would love if you would, donate to us. And they got quite a few donations just from that. And there wasn't a big push, but because they had been doing this long term, right? They had been showing everybody what they were doing. They've been taking everybody through this journey already. People were already ready to give when that ask came. And so this is what I'm talking about by just staying ready, making sure you are continuously building on those relationships, making sure you're continuously cultivating those relationships. And then in the other sense, just making sure we're always keeping track of things. And so data is already there, and already ready. So the biggest things that I want you to take out of this is that, one, you need systems to gather all your donor data, to make sure you're able to communicate with them, and as well as making sure you have some kind of social content creation system in order to communicate with your donors. And that can just be emails, newsletters, or of course just posting on social media itself. Then we need to understand like what needs to be cleaned up before January starts, right? Do we have these donor systems? Do they need to be a little more efficient? Do we need to have a better system? Like, what is it that isn't working and or is not allowing you to be as efficient at building those donor relationships and making sure that you stay in touch with them? And that was my dog. Because I think you just need to understand that the perfect time to set yourself up for the new year is right now, right? We want to get as much of a head start on this as we can. We want to make sure our systems are up and running. We want to make sure everything is efficient. And if there is like one process that we can make easier or more efficient, then let's go ahead and do that. So go ahead and start thinking now, is there something that we can make more efficient? Do we need some better donor software? Do we need a better way to communicate with our donors? And if there is, then let's go ahead and get ready, or at least put that on the calendar for something that we're going to do in January. That's it. Those are the three main things that I have for you. If you are looking for more tips, please follow me here. Go ahead and share this if you have anybody else that you think needs this. Go ahead and like this, subscribe, hit that bell so you're notified for any new videos that we are coming out with, and make sure that you tell me in the comments what was most helpful for you. And I will catch you guys next time.